Welcome to Cheat Code Nutrition, the podcast where science meets strategy to help you decode your body and unlock next level health. I'm your host, Ellie Young, functional nutrition practitioner and genetic testing nerd, here to guide you through the real root causes of fatigue, stubborn weight, hormonal chaos, and mystery symptoms the traditional system shrugs off. Whether you're optimizing for longevity, performance, or just want to feel like yourself again, you're in the right place. Around here, we don't guess, we test. We use functional lab work, genetic nutrition, and a no BS approach to precision wellness that works with your body, not against it. If you're ready to ditch the one-size-fits-all protocols and start working with your actual blueprint, this is your cheat code. Let's get into it. If you're health conscious but still stuck guessing, it's time to reset. Foundations Reset is my signature 2-session functional nutrition offer designed to help high performers, wellness seekers, and bio-curious optimizers finally get clarity on what's driving their symptoms. Together, we'll review your full health history, clean up your diet and supplements, and choose targeted functional tests like the GI map for gut health, genetic testing for personalized nutrition, or the Dutch panel for hormones, so you can stop guessing and start healing. If you already have labs your doctor gave you but didn't explain, I can review those too and actually turn that data into action, because the future of medicine puts you in control, and I'm here to guide the way. Ready to get started? Head to mycheatcodenutrition.com, or you can DM me Reset and let's build your custom plan. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Cheat Code Nutrition. And today's podcast is about how do we learn to self-soothe without alcohol and without food. Now, I have been coaching this for a long time now, and I find so many similarities between giving up alcohol and learning to eat well, because we associate both with being a huge sacrifice, right? Um, and the work that it takes to break up with booze is very similar to the work that you do to finally embody a healthy relationship with food. So much is tied to this idea of sacrifice, that we believe we are giving up something and that it's no fun, and that all of this enjoyment that lives in alcohol and lives in kind of the bad food, that we have to give it up in order to somehow achieve this health status that our bodies desperately need, right? But there's this mental tie that we are sacrificing something, and that's why it's so difficult. It's so difficult to do, and ultimately, when push comes to shove and life gets hard, we default into these self-medicating behaviors that involve alcohol, bad food, or both. And so today, I'm going to talk about why this is so hard and how to actually overcome it, how I overcame it, because I have made a certain shift recently, and I wasn't sure how I got there until I took some time to reflect on it, because for a long time, I've definitely used food as a substitute crutch for alcohol, and it would come and go. And don't get me wrong, I still don't get me wrong, I do not eat perfectly. I still have the occasional junk food and sugar and all carbs, all the things, right? But I just have really let go of all of the other brainwashing and baggage that I have associated with food, um, to the point where it's easy for me to choose healthy food. It's easier for me to plan healthy meals and to not have it feel like a diet or that I'm sacrificing something. So it's so similar into my relationship with alcohol. So let's get into it. So, um, subconscious programming. We know that the culture teaches us that alcohol equals relaxation, fun, connection, reward. And similarly, we also believe that food is a reward, right? Both are tied to a dopamine reward system in our body. Both are really easy to do. Both are so accessible and so acceptable in society. I would say that alcohol is oftentimes more acceptable than maybe bad food. I think there's a little bit of shame tied to bad food, like, oh, because we're all trying to be skinny, that we might shame somebody who's like eating bad food all the time and blame them, right, for being overweight or obese. But we don't blame people for drinking until it tips into this really dangerous level, right? Every other kind of drinker, we're all just like, hey, that's totally fine, right? And so it's really interesting to explore these ideas. Um, Alcohol is so difficult to unwind from your life because of the cultural acceptance of it. Food, on the other hand, is super complicated because it's tied to our self worth, right? And we reward ourselves or we punish ourselves with food in weird ways, especially as women, right? And so the shifts that helped me overcome alcohol are exactly the shifts that helped me develop a healthy relationship with food. And both are tied to undoing the subconscious programming about alcohol and about food, seeing food as a reward, and believing that I should uh, punish myself with food in order to be skinny. I never saw food as nutrients. I literally saw it as like something I had to do because I was hungry and I know I needed to fuel my body, but I was always trying to take shortcuts. I was always trying to cheat the system and find the low fat, the sugar free, the fat free, the low calorie. And I always just thought there was just some sort of trick that I could do by feeding my body as little as possible or some sort of magician trick of food that wasn't even really food to accomplish like losing weight or not being bloated or and I never got there, and it just created such an unhealthy relationship. So um and then I traded one crutch for the other. When I gave up alcohol, food became my way of self-soothing. And I allowed myself to do it because it was, again, I was using it like a reward, rewarding myself for doing the hard thing of giving up alcohol. And I thought, you deserve it. Isn't that funny how just like I thought I deserved alcohol at the end of a hard day or a stressful time in my life, you deserve it, right? I thought I deserved to enjoy the bad food, the candy, the french fries, the pizza, because I had quit alcohol. I was using it in the same way to self-soothe, to reward myself, to distract myself from hard things. And I feel it now. I still feel these moments, just like I used to with alcohol. When things get hard and stressful around the house, I'm like, screw it. I just want to order a pizza. You know, I feel that urge in myself, and I now am so much more aware of it. So similarly with the alcohol, creating awareness and a little bit of space where you can pause before you reach for that substance. And sorry, one sec. Sorry, my son just came in and totally distracted me, and I lost my train of thought. But I know we were talking about how I rewarded myself with food after quitting alcohol because let's be real, it was the next easiest dopamine hit. And it wasn't that food was the enemy per se, it was my relationship to it, um, and how I was using it, right? And and again, it became this relationship of it would be too much to ask myself to eat healthy while I was already giving up this thing called alcohol, right? Because at the end of the day, I thought giving up alcohol and, you know, dieting, let's say, at the same time was too hard. It was too difficult, right? To deny myself an additional comfort seeking ritual that food can be, right? But the tipping point for me with both things was science, was information. And that's why when I work with my clients, I don't just want to tell you things and have you hear it and be like, cool. I need you to understand it. This is a tipping point when information alone does not need to transformation. It has to sit in your subconscious and it has to work on you. It has to help you undo all of the old social programming around alcohol, around food, so that you no longer believe you are giving something up. You no longer believe it's a sacrifice to give up alcohol or to eat clean, so that it doesn't feel like a diet and you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. You actually feel like you are choosing the healthy option, and it like lifts you up and it makes you feel really good and it energizes you. And of course, you are going to feel good because you are getting all these health benefits from no longer poisoning yourself and additionally no longer toxifying yourself with bad food and disrupting all your gut health and all these things. It's all tied together. And we don't make those connections, right? We don't always make the connection between the food we eat and how it actually makes us feel and the relationship between our sleep or our mental health later, right? And so just like learning about alcohol and the nasty effects helped me change my habits, learning about nutrition and the microbiome completely changed my relationship to food. So, a couple key shifts that helped me um, was in this kind of programming sense, right? I was no longer always concerned about eating less. I was actually concerned about nourishing more. I'm concerned about nutrient density because I know exactly what my body needs in order to function well, right? I'm no longer just calculating calories and, hey, what's going to be the lowest amount of carbohydrate so that my stomach looks flat in my swimsuit tomorrow. I'm no longer just avoiding carbs. I'm actually concerned about fiber, how much fiber I need and what it's going to do to my gut lining and how it's going to make me feel. Um, this is big, big shifts for me. And I'm also no longer concerned about being skinny. Of course, I want to be healthy, and lean, but I also want to be strong. I want to be fueled and I want to be balanced. This is the information that helps me rewire my beliefs. It's what makes the science stick, right? When we actually start to embody the science and we no longer just go, okay, I know, but I still can't do it, right? It's really hard to learn these things and then actually apply it in your life. There has to be something that follows the information that you learn. And that's actually why coaching is so valuable because you have somebody there that you can bounce your concerns, your feedback, your struggles off of. So it's not just like this one-way street where you're digesting information online and or listening to a podcast or using ChatGPT to self-diagnose yourself. You actually have someone can go that you can say, "Hey, I'm having all these fears. I'm having all these questions. I don't understand like why, throughout the month, some days I'm good at this, some days I can't, and I just want to order takeout," right? I have been there. And the difference really is in embodying this information that is going to lead to your transformation. It's when you actually no longer believe you're making a sacrifice by choosing the healthy option, by not drinking, by actually, learning to nourish your body the correct way, right? There's a tipping point with this kind of stuff. And I really do think I hit like a new level recently. And I mean, I think I mentioned this in my last podcast. Like, I didn't eat a single piece of Halloween candy. I didn't even think about it. I wasn't tempted at all. There was zero moments of weakness where I thought it would be a good idea because I was completely nourished. I was completely satisfied with the things that I had eaten for myself. And no, I'm not like sugar free. Like, I definitely enjoy all sorts of different things, but I had no desire for candy the same way I had no desire for alcohol because I fully believed that it was going to do nothing for me. Like, I was not willing to trade the, 10 10 seconds maybe with candy of like a dopamine rush for what it would ultimately do to my gut, to my digestion, to my sleep that night, to my mental health. Again, we often don't make these connections when we kind of do this to ourselves, when we overeat something or, um, have a bunch of candy in a weak moment, right? We don't always make these connections to like our skin breakout or a bad night of sleep, things like that. But I now know the science. I like know too much now to like look at a piece of, I don't know, junk food and go, yeah, I want to put that in my body. That seems like a good idea right now. Like I actually kind of see it the same way I do alcohol. I'm just like, no, that is going to mess me up. I want nothing to do with it. And it's not hard. And I also don't feel like uppity. Like I'm not like walking around, shaming people who are eating bad or doing things. I actually just feel super confident and content in my food choices and how I feed my family and all these things. Like I'm definitely not uptight about it, because you know life is life, and oftentimes you're just put in positions where you don't have options and you don't. But for the most part, I feel like I can plan and hack my way around that as best as possible. And that's the fun. That's where the creativity, and you start to feel really good about it and you start to build this confidence like, yeah, like I packed all this awesome super healthy food and I'm winning right now because I feel really good and I don't have any cravings. For example, my son played in this football tournament or just a game this weekend. And every time we go to these stadiums, they don't allow you to bring in your own drinks. They don't allow you to bring in your own food. And um, so all of the good stuff I packed, I had to leave in the car. Even my water bottle with my electrolytes, they were like, "Nope, it could be alcohol." And I was like, "Listen, people, like I am an alcohol-free life coach. I'm a functional nutritionist. This is not, alcohol in here." But they were like, and I didn't want to like get into it with these volunteer women who are running the snack stand and the entry gate to the football game. So I gave up and they were like, "You can buy food in here." And I actually videoed the food stand, my options. It was literally the world's worst food. It was everything processed, packaged, sugar central, everything bad, like so disgusting. I was like, you couldn't pay me to eat this food. I won't do it. And there's a reason why this particular neighborhood that we were playing football in, literally, I would say 75% of the population there was obese, like massively obese. And their kids were obese. And the football team was obese. Like, and yet we have rules, and I understand they're trying to raise money for their football team, like making you have to buy their food and their bottled water. They were like, "You can buy bottled water in here." And I'm like, "It's in plastic. Like, I don't want to drink out of plastic." And again, that's when I seem like a lame, like uppity person when I'm like, "I won't drink out of plastic." But like, of course I'll drink out of plastic if I have to, but like I don't want to. And if I have a choice and I packed my own water bottle, like let me drink out of my own water bottle. Super annoying. And I was definitely in a phase of my cycle where I was a little more combative, you could say. But again, I just think these rules are so stupid. Um, Anyways, I digress. Like basically, I I love I get synergy. I get confident when I am organized enough to like plan and pack super healthy stuff for my family. It makes me feel really good. I get a lot of joy out of it too when I cook a healthy meal and my kids actually like it. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times they tell me it sucks. And I don't film those on Instagram. Sometimes they do. I joke that like, hey, like half the time they do say like, no, I don't want this, mom. But when I hit a win and I hit something that they'll eat, and then the leftovers, I actually make them an awesome lunch with, or I'll eat the leftovers and I'm like, that was a freaking win. Then I'm really happy about it. And it feels way better than it does to like order, takeout for my kids, order Chick-fil-A. That doesn't feel good, right? Not only do I feel like I'm not doing a great job as a mom, I also know that my kids then aren't like, they're more vulnerable to getting sick. Like Benji has a little bit of a cold because he had a bunch of events late night, back to back games. We were letting him order like Jersey Mike's, which again, it's not the worst food ever. It's a sub thing. But was it the rainbow? Was it his normal awesome, healthy food that I'm giving him? No. So was his gut probably compromised? Is it cold season? He's exposed to a lot more germs right now? Sure, like all these things. Was he a little more under stress because he's pushing his body physically in all these games? Yes. All these things make him a little more vulnerable to getting sick, and he did. He has a cold right now. So I see it. I can see it crystal clear how these things happen instead of always being like surprised, like, oh, how'd they get sick? Why do they keep getting sick? Like, we know why, right? It really is all about the diet, the sleep, the stress management. And again, it's not so you have to stress yourself out over these things. It's more that there is just this tipping point where you fully believe the right choice for you should feel good. It should feel easy because you believe in it. And it doesn't feel like a sacrifice to make that. And again, this takes time, this takes practice, it takes motivation, it takes inspiration. And that's really what I do in my coaching is I help you connect the dots with your lifestyle, with your choices, and we layer on gene testing so we know exactly how you're built, and we also layer on additional functional testing like a GI map where we see what exactly is going on in your gut so we can see how is your lifestyle actually showing up in the balance of bacteria in your gut because it really reveals a lot. Immune issues, getting sick all the time, we could see that in your gut. Autoimmunity, definitely can see that in your gut. Skin issues, yep, we can see that in your gut. Mental health, sleep issues, all of it you can see by different imbalances going on in the gut. And then we can layer on your genes because there's a certain specific genes that impact exactly how your gut lining lines up, your ability to absorb certain nutrients, your ability to methylate certain nutrients. And from there, we can truly customize a plan for you. And again, I believe that information, that learning the science and understanding your gut health can be a tipping point for you to motivate you, to inspire you to actually put in the extra work to start creating systems of healthier eating for you, of healthier eating for your family, so that it doesn't feel like a chore, so that it actually becomes integrated into your life in a way that you're like, this is who I am now. I believe in this wholeheartedly, and this is how I want my life to be. I, you know, I believe in this so fully that this is my career now, right? And I have to live it. I have to practice what I preach. And I'm getting better and better at it every day. And I'm working through all the kinks, especially when life gets hard, right? That was what my whole podcast was last week. Is like when life gets hard, that's when we need these systems. That's when we need to be able to fall back on a habit, on a pattern that is easy for us to stay healthy. And I can help you build those patterns. I can help you build those habits and help you prioritize on the things that matter most in your health. We're not chasing every diet trend. We're not chasing every supplement that promises to do X, Y, and Z and make you lose weight, the cortisol cocktail, all those things, right? No, I am helping you do the hard part in real life, which is focusing on what matters for you even when life gets hard, right? Simple key nutrients, like a couple things like omega 3s and vitamin C. If you're like, shit hits the fan, but I'm still making sure I get my vitamin C and my omega 3s, and I'm still making sure I'm eating color in my diet every day, and that I'm getting enough fiber, that is what I can help you do, right? And then I can help you start to layer in new practices like, hey, I want to be able to cook for my family 3 nights a week. How do I create a system that allows me to do that? Where are the shortcuts that I can take around ordering groceries? Or maybe it's getting a food box delivered, or maybe it's getting frozen meat delivered to your house once a month. Where are the coupons where I can save money? Where are the special dishes that actually help me meal prep and pack things on the weekends when I'm busy with my kids? I've got all the tricks, all the tips, and I can lay it out in an easy to follow way for you so that you don't have to recreate the wheel on any of this stuff, right? This is my coaching style. I'm not just giving you supplements and test results and being like, hey, guess what? You got an imbalanced gut and you got some bad genes. Here's some supplements. I am going to help you embody the information that is going to teach you about what's going on in your body, teach you what alcohol has done to you and how you need to detox and why it's so critically important, why cholesterol is super important, why our gut health is super important, why getting omega 3s is super important. Again, when you know how important it is, it's easier to prioritize. It's easier for you to move it up in the list of things that you have to do. We have to stop pretending that health is something that can wait, that you can put off. It is now. Our health is now. There are things taking place in our body right now, like systematically, that we need to interrupt and start working on now in order to have the longevity and the health span, not just lifespan. We don't want to just live longer. We want to live well longer. We want to feel good. And that is my goal. And I can help you do that in a practical way. But at the end of the day, and here's what's real. You need the information. You need to understand it. You need to learn it, right? So that it starts to work on those subconscious beliefs so that you're no longer believing it's a sacrifice or hard work to change your diet or to give up alcohol. It's like, no, this feels good for me. It feels easy because I know how good it is. I have reprogrammed my brain to believe that this is the right thing for me. But at the end of the day, you have to want this. You have to want it more than you fear it. You have to commit. You have to make the time to do it. And you have to show up because no one else is going to do this kind of work for you, right? There is no easy button. You know what's easy? Drinking alcohol, eating food. It's what's not easy is learning new systems that are going to help you change the way you think and feel about alcohol and change the way you think and feel about bad food. And no one else is going to do this for you. You have to want it. And the pain of the change has to be easier than the pain of staying the same. And oftentimes people come to me when they're very sick, when they've really like everything has gone wrong in their health or they have hit a rock bottom with alcohol. And oftentimes that is when people feel the pain to motivate to change. And I would like to motivate you to to go for it before you get to that point, to really believe that you can optimize, to not be content with, hey, your labs look normal. You don't want to be normal. You want to be optimal. Okay, do you know what normal lab ranges mean? That means normal compared to the rest of the population. But our population is wildly unhealthy. So if you are falling into the normal of an unhealthy population, that's not good. You want to be optimal. And that's what functional lab testing ranges do. They narrow the range to the optimal range. And that is what I help you achieve. And we do it by paying attention to your genes. Your gene testing tells us where to look. It tells us where you're vulnerable, and it might tell us where you're super strong, where we say, hey, we don't really need to worry about this because you are not genetically predisposed to developing that. So we can really focus on this thing over here. And then we layer on some functional labs and we go, how is this gene actually being expressed with your current lifestyle, right? What is going on in your gut? What is going on with your cholesterol, your omega 3 levels? And we can really get a beautiful snapshot of exactly how healthy you are and where we can move some levers to fine tune and get you feeling your best. I don't want to just get you feeling better. I want to get you feeling your best. And sometimes people don't even know how good they can feel, especially if you're still drinking. You have no idea how much better you can feel. And then once you get to normal and you're in perimenopause and you're like, I don't even know what good feels like anymore because I'm not sleeping. I've got all sorts of hormone related issues. I can't stop gaining weight, right? I want to help you get to an optimal place in that phase of life. You do not have to accept the status quo of aging and feeling like shit and watching your health just erode away. There are so many different levers that you can pull, and in a way that doesn't feel like sacrifice, that doesn't feel like work. And that is the mental shift that I help you achieve. And it is with education, it is with information, it is with learning yourself. doing lab testing to know thyself, to do your gene report, and to truly know how you are built, that is the ultimate layer in healing and self-knowledge. It allows you to proceed with confidence because you know exactly what's right for you. And I can help you translate that data to get the most out of that information. So lastly, you do not have to numb to cope. You can actually build a life that doesn't require an escape, especially through alcohol, especially through food, right? You can find a way to nourish yourself, to self-soothe with other tools, right? Right now, my favorite self-soothing tool is sleep. With this time change, it is getting dark earlier. I am starting my bedtime routine like at 7 p.m. And I am like excited to go to bed. I've got a weighted blanket. I've got an eye mask. I'm just cozying in and winding down with a bunch of sleep supplements that are, again, these sleep supplements aren't putting me to sleep. They are about helping my body relax. They're not sleep sedatives. It's not melatonin. They're different supplements that my body needs to help promote relaxation and winding down and stress release. And I have nailed it recently. In fact, I have a little sleep bundle that I'm going to be giving to my girlfriends for Christmas that includes all of my favorite sleep aids, especially for perimenopause and menopause. So maybe I'll make it available on online as well, like a little sleep bundle. That's a good idea. Um, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening to me rant and rave today because I'm super passionate about this stuff. And I truly believe that you can shift into this place of wellness that feels like a gift. And it makes you feel so grateful because you're like, I have finally, something has clicked. And I no longer am chasing all of these things that weren't healthy, like being derailed on the wrong path to health. Um, and I can help you get there. So it's November and my Black Friday sale is on, everybody. I am offering 20% off my products. So we've got the foundations reset. So if you don't know where to start, this is a great place to start. This is just 2 sessions with me. It does not include any testing. That is optional and that is add-on cost. Just for full transparency, if you want to add a gene test, it's $300. If you want to add a GI map, that's $350. There are other additional tests you can do. You can reach out to me to find. I will give you the same cost that I get. I'm not adding on anything to the cost of those tests. You just pay for your test the same way I do. And then you get 2 sessions with me. So the first session is where I get to know you. We go through your diet, we go through your symptoms, we go through all the supplements you're taking, and I get a full snapshot. If you have any labs, I can review those, and I just get a full picture of what's going on with your health. I listen to you in a way that you haven't been listened to before. We go through it all. And then we decide if you want to do any testing. We don't have to. We can just build you a diet plan. We can get you on a bunch of supplements. I can do a supplement audit for you and help you toss out what you don't need and clean out things and then build you a little protocol that is just going to help you feel better. And then the second session again is just a follow-up to kind of fine tune and see where we can improve. Um, Additionally, that second appointment, if you did any additional labs, that's when we would review those labs and again, fine tune. You can always add on to this package for more sessions as needed. If you want to do the gene testing, this one is actually the best value during my Black Friday sale is the gene testing. It includes 4 sessions with me and it includes the cost of the DNA test, which is $300. And again, you are going to get I believe you get $300 off with the 20%. Yeah, I think you actually I still have to buy the gene test, but it's the same dollar amount off. I think it's $300 off. Yeah. So you get the gene test for free essentially, and you're just paying for the sessions with me to help you go through your health history, set up a plan, go through the genetic data, and connect all the dots. And again, if you have any existing labs, we can go through those and again, tie it to your genes And this is where we find out how you were built. We can customize a diet strategy specifically built for you, a workout strategy specifically built for you. We find out where you're vulnerable, where you need more support, and we build the plan around all of that information. And it only gets easier and it only gets more fine tuned as we get better and as we get more familiar with your genes and how they are expressing based on your lifestyle. It is the best feedback loop available because once you know how you were built, you're going to have these aha moments. You're going to go like, oh, that is why X, Y, and Z keep happening to me and why this doesn't work for me, but I've seen it work for other people and why, ooh, I have a reaction to this type of thing. It will just open your eyes to so many different things. And then you can navigate your health in a completely different way because you have a map. You have a map to how you were built. It is the best money. It is the best functional testing money you will ever spend. It's a one-time test and you never need to do it again. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I'm actually gifting it to my mom and dad this year. I'm going to buy them gene tests and I'm going to do their genes and help explain it to them at Christmas, which should be a very exciting moment. We will see how that goes. Um, all right, everybody. I've rambled on long enough, but you know my favorite sign off. As always, I am with you. You got this. Oh, and head on over to My Cheat Code Nutrition or check the show notes for the links to my offers and the 20% off code for both of these products is, if you made it all the way to the end, it is Let's Go. It'll also be in the show notes. Let's Go for 20% off. All right, everybody, have a good one. Thanks for tuning in to Cheat Code Nutrition. If today's episode sparked some curiosity about what your genes are trying to tell you, grab my free guide, 5 Genes You Should Know to Optimize Your Health. It's linked for you in the show notes. And if you're ready to skip the guesswork and start working with your actual blueprint, check out my genetic nutrition coaching offer, also linked in the show notes. Your next level of health might just be one test away. Until next time, stay curious, stay nourished, and don't forget, your body's not broken. It just speaks a different language. Let's learn to speak it fluently.